Hi, May. Welcome to the Digital Business Podcast. This is episode number 1. Apparently, it's a pilot episode, so I'm allowed to freestyle. Episode number 1. I have my notes in my phone and it decided to go off. So what's the reason for having a digital business podcast for Africa? I have 12 reasons why I started. I felt I needed to start this podcast. And this is actually my professional gift to the whole of Africa. So reason number 1, let me start with reason number 1. The reason why this podcast had to come from me to the rest of Africa is because I've always wanted a mentor. Growing up, wanting to be an entrepreneur in the digital space in Africa, it was not very straightforward. Like, how do you get to find a mentor? Where can you find someone that you can sit down with every now and then? Someone that can actually share their personal experiences, like their journey. How did they start? What were the mistakes that they did? What are the lessons that they learned along the way? It was very difficult for me to find like a one-stop place where I could get all the information. So I felt, well, I have gone through my journey, plenty of mistakes that I've made, plenty of challenges that I've come across, and many things that I've learned, and a lot of victories I might add. And I'm more than happy to be here to share with everybody. So if you would like to get a fellow African coming online, telling you their journey from start up to where I am, I think the business is getting where it's supposed to go to, well, this is the place you need to be. So make sure you subscribe, follow, always listen to the new podcast episodes that are coming on. And then reason number 2, it's a whole legacy aspect, really. I always think about the lessons I learned from my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and sad to say that they're not alive here. And I always ask myself, like, if I could have like a podcast where all the wisdom that they taught me my whole life was just like recorded in one place, would I want to watch that episode? And I said, yes, I would. So why shouldn't I not do it for my kids, their kids, and my great-grandkids, and up to so many generations, assuming that the world doesn't come to an end? So I'm doing this for my great-grandkids. Your great-grandkids, please know I'm doing this for you. Love me. I'm your favorite great-grandmother. Peace. And then the third one is I had this procrastinating thing going on, and I believe that is the one challenge that those of us that feel things have to be perfect for us to start is our greatest challenge. So since 2018, I've been scripting and saying I'm gonna start. I would script. Up to now, I have 308 scripts ready for shooting, and the truth is some of the content became obsolete. Like, you can imagine how the digital world has transformed since COVID. So I got to that point where what I write the following year, the 100 scripts became obsolete, and now I'm like, you know what, this has been a challenge for me, but this should be something that other people learn from. Like, if you have something to give it now, you know, whether it's information, knowledge, and just advice. So lesson number 3, I've invested in a lot of equipment. Ooh, I wish I could have you like a whole tour of what I've done, and putting money together to get this, bootstrapping, which should be something that should inspire someone wherever you are. If with that phone you feel for some strange reason that you're not ready to start, I would advise you, don't assume it's because you don't have enough equipment. Assume it's possibly something in you that you need to work on, like a decision to actually start, because you could never have enough equipment to start. Actually, the day you buy that awesome camera, in 2 days or 3 days, a new one comes in. So you always have something better to buy, something better to invest in to actually start. So start where you are. This has been a great lesson, and I believe this point number 4 is actually a critical one for everybody. And then number 5 is that I told myself that this would happen year after year after year. And one of the lessons that I've learned is that practice is better than perfection. Just show up and practice, because no matter how much studying the art of presenting that you can do, nothing beats practice. That's a fact. And then number 7, this is a really vulnerable share. Let me just take it in. All right. My mom has always told me growing up that I'm Oprah. Yes, that I'm the next Oprah. So this is also something I'm doing for my mom, and what she told me, because there is a lot of talk in the streets about proving haters wrong, proving naysayers wrong. But how about the people that believe in you, the people that have prayed for you, the people that have told you that you can do it, the prayers that you have prayed and things that you know in your spirit that God would want you to? Why can't we stand and actually prove those words of encouragement to be true, rather than to be just so focused on the pessimistic voice? So that's point number 7. Point number 8 is I wanted to have this sort of a podcast because I believe in sharing. I believe what you put out there is like a seed. A seed lives your life, but it always comes back as a harvest. I believe that no matter how imperfect, like, oh my goodness, I keep looking at my script. My phone keeps going on standby. I have to look up. Look, this is the whole essence of this digital business podcast. This is the place where we come in, accept that we might not be perfect. Everything might not be perfect, but we start from somewhere and we get things done. And it gets me so excited because it's like, oh my goodness, this is going to be something that I'm going to look back at and actually say, I've grown from here. And that is the kind of story that I believe I would want to hear from someone else. Like all the multi-billion-dollar entrepreneurs in Africa, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs in Africa. I would have loved to really even see some of their videos, like the first day they got into that office and the office was so small and they were starting from there. Like, I believe this. Okay, if there's one who'd like me to interview, like you have cutaways of where you started and now you're somewhere way ahead, that would be great. That's the kind of stories that I believe we need to bring forward. We need to document the stories to inspire, where we are starting and where we are going. I don't know what number it is now, but this is number 10 for me here that I'm reading. There's this journey that I've been having for the past couple of years. I've been doing my PhD for a couple of years, and I've always felt like I wanted to wait until I graduated, until I'm called Dr. Ame. Like, that would sound so great on a podcast to say, hi, my name is Dr. Zachariah. Hi, my name is Dr. Ame. But you know what? The journey kept on going, okay? And I felt like I needed to wait for this perfect date after I graduated, and I felt no, someone else, anybody else, you might be an undergraduate student, you might be doing your degree first year, you might be doing like your high school. You don't really have to wait to graduate for you to feel you're ready to share a message, because there's always someone who can learn from your life experiences, no matter what age you are in. So I felt, look, for me to wait for my graduation to get this done is not gonna do, okay? And then the other one, number 11, is that I have enough to start. This actually should be something I write on a placard, put it in every room in my house, and something that you can as well write somewhere and put it somewhere in your house, that you actually have enough to start. What you know is enough for you to actually sit down and start. And going back to this aspect of business, that you know what, we all have enough to start. The person who wants to sell mugs, if you have one mug, that mug is enough for you to start. You can actually sell that mug, get money for that mug, buy 2 mugs or buy a mug and something else, and keep spinning that and making more money, so that you ensure that you reinvest. So everyone has somewhere to start. We all have something that we can have to start. And the last point, number 12, I hope this is just like the thing that I'll end with. And this is the last one. My journey as an educator, as a lecturer, as a coach, there's been a lot of experiences that my clients or students have shared with me. And this has culminated into me sort of having this information that I've synthesized in my mind that has given me clarity about certain issues that all of us as entrepreneurs in Africa sort of journey through. And I feel that coming in a place where we get someone who's starting, we get someone who has summited, we get someone who's learning business, we get someone who is going through challenges, we get someone who has gone through the challenges, we get someone who's a digital entrepreneur turns to investor, we get someone who's an investor turns to a digital business entrepreneur. Just being just being the person who comes through and brings all these people from different walks of life, from different parts of Africa to come in and share their story is a blessing, is a gift. And this brings me to the end of this pilot episode. I'm so happy we got to do this, me and you. Please make sure that you keep listening to this episodes as they come through. Make sure that you follow me on different social media platforms, you subscribe, you follow, you like, you reshare the content. Until the next episode, goodbye.